à l'ennemi. Aide-nous pendant cette période critique. Oh Seigneur, de veiller les uns et les autres, les uns sur les autres, pour que tu triomphes, de même que l'amour, ton amour a triomphé.
Brother Theodore opened his slot on this 13th night with some thanksgivings and prayer topics, namely, thanksgiving for those who are fasting in our ministry worldwide, for those who are on the evangelistic front, for the praise raised all over the ministry, for the many places where brethren are praying according to their capacity, for all the other fronts of activities on which the brethren are, for those who have had a personal encounter with God, normal or dramatic, for all our personal needs the Lord has graciously provided during the fast and despite the fast, and prayer to rebuke the spirit of distraction, prayer so that God will pour a new hunger and thirst for God on all who are fasting or not, prayer so that God will save us from fasting scandals. He then reminded the burden of the fast. That is, a hard cry that God will raise a large army of leaders to rapidly accomplish the goal of phase 3 and move on. A large army of leaders to keep the many young converts we have won because we have a high rate of losing young converts. Leadership is responsibility, and responsibility requires wealth. In the same way, spiritual leadership requires spiritual wealth, and even the human and material wealth for spiritual leadership comes through spiritual dynamics. God is ready to give this wealth for spiritual leadership, but He gives it to those who are committed to carry responsibility. The leader reminded that responsibility precedes the gifts. In other words, God gives wealth for spiritual leadership to those who have committed themselves to carry responsibility. Solomon asked wisdom so as to lead the people of God. If God were to give you wealth, it will be in view of what? Hence the prayer that God will grant us to offer the conditions to pour out the spiritual gifts and wealth. What are these conditions? Brother Theodore answered by specifying that the goal of this fast is not to receive spiritual gifts nor Pentecost. He then explained that through this fast, we want that people should stop running away from responsibility because we know God has resources, and that we commit ourselves to responsibilities and God will give us what we need for our ministries. At this point, he established a difference between being filled with the Holy Spirit and being full of the Holy Spirit. To be filled means that God fills the space that you have made available. To be full means that God fills the whole heart. Brother Theodore further showed from the parable of the talents that God gives to each one according to their capacity. And the capacity here is the responsibilities you carry. The leader further revealed that the whole matter of emerging leaders is all about creating space, and there are two ways of doing so. Either the current leaders die systematically, which is a more confusing way, or they have a fresh encounter with Jesus and recommission themselves to carry responsibilities that they alone can carry, thus creating space for others to emerge.
Autant que je connais mon cœur à l'heure où je suis assis, je ne cherche pas d'accord. Je pense que Jésus m'a trop mal rendu d'un trop grand depuis le petit villageois que j'étais à ce que je fais. Chercher davantage de grandeur, ça sera de l'ingratitude. La petite ingratitude. Mais on ne peut servir Dieu qu'avec ce qu'on a. Donc, comme le Seigneur Jésus, certains d'entre nous sont en train de prier. Seigneur, glorifie-moi afin que je puisse te prier. C'est avec ce qu'on reçoit de Dieu qu'on sert. On ne cherche pas à être exalté pour être grand. Mais Seigneur, glorifie-moi afin que je puisse te glorifier. On cherche quelque chose avec lequel nous servons. Parce qu'on n'a rien. On ne peut pas nous glorifier. Quand tu dis Seigneur, je te glorifie, toi tu as quoi? Tu peux nous glorifier avec quoi? Glorifie-moi afin que je puisse